we're going where you want to go so you can be where you need to be. It's Road Gang Radio with Lindsay Lawler and Jimmy Mack on RadioNemo.com.
Oh, yeah. By the way, we're talking small businesses standing up for the little guy like we always do around here. We are the little guy, by the way. We've always been the little guy, always punching above our weight. That's what it means to be a member of a road gang. I am sitting here, by the way, with some of the original members of the reconstituted road gang. Madison with a T is in the back listening with her hawk-like ears. I don't think those actually exist. And Phone Master Dre is to my left here at the Degas House in the city of New Orleans over at the Fastport Studios. And then, of course, over in Franklin, Tennessee, in the Franklin Studios, in the what I call the Riverboat Gambler Studios over there in Franklin.
Soon to have a name, by the way. Soon to have a name.
Soon to have a name. Really excited about that. Things are looking up. And by the way, seems like all the old friends are coming back, Lindsay. I will turn this over to you because this is really, as we were saying all morning long, so much of this is about celebrating a person who doesn't actually, when it comes to being an ambassador for trucking, celebrate herself. Lindsay, do the honor of introducing our old friend, would you?
I would be so honored to do so. Excited to be talking to this man again. This guy and I, we've had some fun times, and we're going to talk about that as well. Our next guest, someone that we know very well. He and I have shared plenty of laughs over the years. David Owen, he's the president and co-founder of NASTC. That's, of course, the National Association of Small Trucking Companies, based right here in Tennessee, up the road from me. And if you're not familiar, NASTC was founded back in 1989 by David Owen and Buster Anderson, rest in peace, kind soul, with a pretty powerful mission to support and advocate for the small trucking companies that keep America moving, something that is very important. They've built this incredible network now, over 13,000 companies strong, operating more than 156,000 power units nationwide and growing. I'm sure that number is way higher, actually, at this point. And what NASTC does so well is give those smaller fleets a collective voice and a collective buying power, actually. So, they negotiate with vendors to help their members save money, stay compliant, stay safe, stay ahead of the curve with new technology. You can correct me if I'm wrong, David, if I'm saying anything wrong here, but I've had the honor of performing for NASTC events over the years and even writing a few trucking songs for and with David himself. He's become a co-writer because of that. I've seen firsthand how much this organization means to its members. So David is joining us today to talk about their upcoming annual conference because he also has a special announcement that includes me, which, I love that. So stay tuned. We're talking trucking. We're talking celebration. We're talking David Owen. Welcome back to Road Gang Radio.
Thank you for all of that. It is great to hear your voice again, and Dre and Jimmy Mack. It is kind of an homecoming for me. I'm pretty slick when it comes to things. I've figured the best way to get back into your good graces is to give you an award. So
listen, I'm easy. I'm easy. You knew
she's
the key
Sunday
to my heart.
She's the Sunday morning of radio, by the way. I mean, basically, she's easy. I want to also add that David Owen has one of the greatest, most distinct, wonderful voices in all of trucking radio.
Yes.
And it's just good to hear it again. Welcome back, David. Good to have you, man.
Thank you, Jimmy Mack. I really am. I really am pleased to be having this conversation, and I'm really. I didn't just recognize Lindsay as one of our first ambassadors, life ambassadors for transportation ambassadors. We started that new category this year, and we're recognizing Lindsay and Tony Justice and Ingrid Brown as our first three inductees into that grouping of people that we want to thank for all the things they've done for not only NASTC and David Owen, but for all the trucking companies that we represent and all their drivers. And Lindsay, you're right. I'm looking for my royalty checks on those 4 words I put into that song.
You and me both, buddy. You and me both. I didn't get into music to make money, clearly. So if I find it, you'll be the first to know. Don't you worry. Well,
anyhow, we had some fun with you've been an integral part of our best 3 days in trucking, as the whole Dave Nemo crew for years, and been a big part of this week that's coming up next week. And I'm excited to see you. I hope you're going to be there. And I don't know who you're bringing. Are you bringing your husband?
I am. I'm bringing my husband.
Good.
Yeah.
So he's not off on the other side of the world right now.
Not yet, but it changes daily around here. So as of now,
battling
I'm bringing
boa
my
constrictors.
yeah, as one does. As of now, he's coming. Well, let's talk about the conference. I want to say though, so David, over in the chat, people are talking, and Trucker Boson says that NASTC's fuel card saves him thousands and thousands at TA Petro. So there you go. Boom.
Well,
from the callers themselves.
We're real pleased and real proud of the way we designed our fuel program and the way it evolved. And a lot of that has to do with the fellow that you met at our shows, Bob Kelso. Bob was he managed fuel for some of the largest companies in the country, and taught us how to manufacture a relationship with not only TA Petro but another 1,200 stops. Our network is about 1,300 stops now. 300 of them are TA Petros, and that's our main squeeze. We put most of our fuel volume into TA Petros. And we were attracted to TA Petro for a lot of reasons. At the time that we started all of this, they were the only publicly traded truck stop chain of I think maybe there was Speedway may have been publicly traded, but anyhow, they were the only publicly traded stop, and they also tended to have the amenities, big parking, more maintenance bays, and a good nationwide network. So they've been a natural fit and a fantastic partner for us focusing fuel into their network. And the more fuel we focused into their network, the better our deal got. And Bob Kelso just made it clear to me when he said, "I'll do this, David, but we're going to do two things. Number one, we're going to keep our promises to the truck stops that are going to give us these deals, and we're going to focus fuel in their stops." So we've absolutely done something that no other aggregator, if you'll pardon the word, has ever been able to do, and we've actually focused fuel. We've moved fuel into our partners that give us those deals, and in return for that, we're enjoying about a 90 to 91% focus rate in our network, which is unheard of in the industry. Nobody's been able to do that before. But our little guys really respect. The other thing Bob told me when we started the deal is we're not going to cut discounts. So when Flying J went out of business and the margins went into double digits on a gallon of fuel, we took the same piece out of the equation that we did, whether the discount was 40 cents or whether it was 3 cents, and that voted well for us and Kelso told me, I said, well, why would we do that, Bob? Why wouldn't we take a little bit more? I mean, what's the difference to the carrier between 30 cents and 27 cents for example? He said, well, you'll find out. They appreciate the fact that they're getting the discount, and they also appreciate the fact that it's them that's paying the bill and not you and me. So,
David,
that's one reason why our fuel program, one of many reasons why our fuel program has lasted for 25 years and continues to grow. Unfortunately, our industry has cut back and lost a lot of capacity. We've lost a lot of really good small operators, not going broke, but just deciding that it's not profitable anymore. They can't find profitable freight. So we've lost a lot of small carriers, but I have a feeling that's going to begin to change here in the next maybe the first quarter of next year.
David, the thing is, I wanted to kind of bring this up as well because you've really kind of been going through what you've just talked about here. David Owen has joined us, by the way, the guy at the center of NASTC, although he would actually give credit to a lot of other people, and that's really exactly what we're talking about today because you just talked about the partnerships. We always say that you're only as good as your partners, and you really have kind of made that kind of a credo of your life, the idea that you provide a partnership with these folks and then you provide them with more partnerships with your partners as well. And one of the things about the award that you're giving to Tony and Ingrid and Lindsay, of course, here is the fact that you are always kind of focused on what puts trucking in the best light. You're always kind of looking in a positive way about how can we let people know that trucking is about everyone and that trucking is about the people who actually put trucking out there so positively. Can you talk a little bit about what it is you are kind of, we know what these wonderful people have done, but can you tell people why it is you're honoring these three great ambassadors for trucking?
Well, you know, as usual, I'm pretty selfishly motivated. We wouldn't be worth a nickel if it weren't for these guys. I mean, if they don't make it, we don't make it, and we've always assumed that. Lindsay and all the people that helped us, you guys, you and Dave and Dre and everybody at Nemo has helped us build something that is truthfully not designed to uplift the image of trucking and trucking as much as to recognize it. They don't need any uplifting. They're great people. They get it done. You can count on them. Their word's their bond. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, big trucks and large trucks that have to move to make the supply chain work are not politically correct to like. So our industry is, I call it, we're in a politically incorrect business. It's real easy to be afraid of a big truck. It's real easy to pick that one driver out of 10,000 that's between here and Atlanta that did something wrong and paint with a broad brush that all truck drivers are horrible. But and we fight that battle every day. So yes, we don't have to work at trying to we don't have to gild the lily, so to speak, to talk about trucking and truck drivers and small trucking companies. They do the job every day, and if people would just open up their eyes and try to regain some understanding and appreciation for what they did during COVID, they'll get a pretty good idea of what they do every day.
Well, and Dave, I don't know if you heard my rant earlier this morning, but I went on a big rant because it's always been well
off the reservation rant. But go ahead.
Well, because I've been so frustrated over the years in trucking. I'm not a driver, but I speak and sing to those that are, and I've always been really frustrated that within trucking on the corporate side of things, everyone does a really good job of spending a lot of money telling each other how great it is. And I'm like, you guys are missing it. It's going outside. We need people outside of trucking to understand the necessity and how great it is. But you are good about that, and you're a man that balances it out. And I've seen you split your resources across many avenues to, without running it thin, to make sure that the message is getting out there. And especially with your conferences that I've gotten to be a part of it for several years.
Other people are there. Other people not in trucking are there.
Other people not in trucking are there, and you're putting people up on the stage. You're supporting people like me and Tony Justice, who then we're like, you bring us in, we see how great it is, and then we can go out and sing the message. People like Ingrid Brown, who is a driver, but she is also an advocate. She's on top of cancer research. She's an advocate for women. She's so much more than just a truck driver. Tony is also a truck driver and a singer. I'm a spokesperson in trucking. So whether it be this award, this trucking ambassador, which is a total honor for me. I thank you so much for it. But you're doing this all the time. So if you can, and we're going to bring Dave Nemo on here in a second, but if you can before that, Dave, I would love your take on that, if you agree with me or not, and how you're doing that to split. It's getting the message outside of trucking. It's like trucking understands trucking's great. Check. Now we got to tell other people.
People got to know.
With that?
Yeah.
Well, we've got to. I would love it if we could all get back into the situation that we were, I don't know, a decade back maybe, when we all were pulling. We seemed to be rowing in the same direction, not just in trucking, but in a lot of things. And it's really frustrating for a dinosaur like me to get used to the fact that you can't trust an email, or you don't know whether you're being spammed or not. One of the things that we've been very, very fortunate with, and I think I'm a pretty straightforward guy. I don't cut many corners, but you'll know it if I don't like you, and you'll know it if I like you. And we've been able to establish relationships over the years, like Bob Kelso, like Buster Anderson, like David Donald Broughton, Kathy Dazzle, Jim Edwards, Jeff Davis, a new lady that we've been affiliated with here a brief period of time. I'm so excited about her being another a part of the younger generation of NASTC. She doesn't work for us, but she's going to be writing some columns and doing some data digging and stuff for us. Is Danielle Chaffin. And I don't know whether you've met Danielle or heard her speak or watched or read anything that she's written, but she's an amazing addition to our family. Rick Gobble, Joe Rakovich, Ellen Boya, those are people that we've been able to, and of course Dave Nemo. I'm glad he's there. I can't wait to hear his voice.
Well, that's funny you should say that, David. That's funny.
Say it 3 times. He's like Beetlejuice. Just say it really quick 3 times.
Say Dave Nemo 3 times. Say it.
Do what?
Say Dave Nemo 3 times and he appears. We've said it twice now. You can say it once.
It's a magic show. Oh my
Dave Nemo,
God.
Dave Nemo,
the
Dave
magic
Nemo.
Hasn't left. Dave Nemo, Dave Nemo, Dave Nemo. Thank you, Dave.
Dave, you there? Good morning.
You rang?
Go on.
Go on.
So I'm listening to David Owen and say, wait a minute, I need to be on this show with this guy, man. Good Lord have mercy. Good morning, David.
We're getting the band
Good to
back
hear
together.
Your voice. No kidding. Yeah, we about 15 years, I think, maybe longer, maybe even 18. I'm not sure that we talked on a regular basis, and I think we were just off the record. Of course, I'm not speaking to many people, but we probably had a lot to do with Ray Martinez getting fired.
Well, there's that.
But before he got fired, he did get 4 or 5 changes in hours of service that I think were positive. And I'll tell you, I'll say this. Not just because it's your show, but Dave Nemo had a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
Well, it's like turning an aircraft carrier in this industry. You know what I mean? Takes a long time to do a little bit of stuff, and by the time you do it, everything has changed, and you need to revisit and do it all over again. There's so many things that have been dropped. One of my pet peeves is like the 5 and 5 sleeper berth rule for the. Remember the husband. How many husband-wife teams left the industry when that went away? And we lose so much, and you can't regain it. But I don't want to talk negative. I just want to say, man, you couldn't have picked a better person than Lindsay, Tony. Ingrid. I voted for citizens. Ingrid, yeah, I'm trying to say Ingrid, citizen driver. I mean, just a great kickoff to a wonderful award program, David. That's awesome.
Well, I woke up in the middle of the night, Dave, and I said, about the only way I'll ever get back on the Nemo show as a guest even is to give Lindsay an award, and I'll work through her.
We're so easy.
Well,
why do I feel like it's a Jerry Lewis telethon right now? By the way, I feel like it's a telethon.
And quite frankly, you're right. I don't. We were, but Dana and I were sitting in our office, and she said, "Well, David, who are we gonna recognize as our transportation person of the year this year?" And I started thinking about it, and of course, you've been we recognized you one year as our Transportation Person of the Year.
Oh, the year I've totally lost my voice. Was that? Thank God, doing some videos on YouTube wasn't a thing at that point, because yikes, man, that was so bad. It was so embarrassing. Lindsay, I get up on the podium and I couldn't speak.
Anyhow,
couldn't speak.
We
That's
couldn't
the
have
worst.
we could not have and those three names came to me for a couple of reasons. I'll have to tell you. We decided, of course, we've been negatively impacted by the recession, the trucking recession. I'll call it the trucking recession, whether the country's in recession or not. Small trucking is certainly in recession, and it has been for almost 4 years. But so when
Us
we were
canaries
planning,
don't have a chance,
Beg your pardon?
Us canaries don't have a chance in that.
Yes, canaries in the coal mine. That's correct.
Yeah, for sure. How many times have you said that through the decades? So it's that up and down thing all the time. A little bit different now with a lot of extra baggage attached to everything, but yeah, that's trucking, ain't it?
Well, you know what?
That's trucking, ain't it? Sorry.
It sounds cruel, but all industries go through pruning. It just happens to be it's tried almost to say it was a perfect storm, but you take the combination of the tsunami ripple effect of COVID and the buildup of inventories, and then all of a sudden the over-inventoried and all the money thrown at EVs and stuff that was way ahead of its time, or being forced on the marketplace when nobody was ready for it, or the infrastructure wasn't ready for it, and all of that. You put all that together, and the economy went south for a while, and then all of a sudden you couldn't get freight. And one of the things that's coming to light, Dave, now we had no idea whatsoever the impact of open borders on trucking. And we're beginning to figure it out, this thing about uncredentialed drivers that got CDLs and have been driving, under the radar, not having to comply with any rules whatsoever, hauling freight for $1 a mile and stuff like that. We had no idea that the extent to which that was going on, but they're talking about 200,000 drivers. I think that's way low. I think that's 200,000 we know of. I think there's another group at least that size out there that we don't know of. But anyhow, that's going to almost immediately when that started happening, freight rates shot up.
Yeah,
and 6 or 7%.
And the safety.
And something else that happened that I didn't even think about. Parking got easier because those guys were living in their trucks and taking up parking places, 24/7, 7 days a week.
Yeah, it's and by the way, and the safety improvement too. By the way, David, that's the other thing. And I think that's going to be really interesting next year with the safety.
It's horrible that we had to go through those 3 horrible accidents and 6 or 8, 10 people lost their lives to bring it up to the surface to where there was a level of awareness. Wait a second, what in the heck is going on in our industry? And it's just one of the one of those symptomatic things that takes place, and we're regulating down to the level of perfection in some areas, and then we get states that really. The stat that scared the heck out of me was the state of Illinois, supposedly, from what I heard, all the CDLs they registered in 2023, excuse me, 40% of them were to people that they should not have issued CDLs to for whatever reason.
We're talking with Dave.
Well, you know,
oh, go ahead.
Going back to the origin of the CDL, and I thought, and I think everybody thought for about 10 minutes that, finally, at long last, a federal driver's license for an over-the-road professional truck driver, so that state lines didn't mean anything more than a dotted line on the highway. And that lasted for about 10 minutes, and then we realized, no, it's the same thing, only different. And now we got a whole nother layer of confusion, really, and back and forth between the states, competition almost between the states and the feds. I mean, so the CDL was almost like, to me, it was almost like a mirage there
Nemo,
for a while.
Nemo.
I mean, did you feel the same thing at that time?
Dave, hold on. Put the brakes on both of you. You guys got to, you know what? You guys ought to talk together and figure out a way that you guys can do this on a regular basis, because you guys have run the clock out. David Owen from NASTC has joined us this morning. Dave Nemo has joined him. I feel like we're on the Jerry Lewis telethon when they brought out Dean Martin. Go ahead, Lindsay.
Well, and I just want to say we're about out of time, but David Owen, we'll get the Daves back together. We're getting the band back together. This feels like the great building the bridge. But the conference is coming up. I Dave, I like to talk about the sexy things in trucking. I think the S in NASTC stands for sexy. You do the fun things, the conferences. You're right here in Nashville. It's a cool thing to be a part of. So we got about a minute left. Just tell everybody this is one of the things. Actually, it's a gift. If you're a part of NASTC, you get to come to this amazing conference convention in the heart of downtown. You do great things. It's both educational and entertainment. So real quick, as we have a minute left, talk about the conference and what people can expect.
We would be remiss if we didn't talk about the real purpose of the conference, which we centered around our drivers of the year. We picked 20 drivers of the year, and they're all multi-million-mile drivers with a safe record, perfectly safe record. We also try to bring those relationships that we've had over the years, some of the names I just threw out there a while ago, into Nashville. And we've started calling it the best 3 days in trucking. And quite frankly, I think it is, and we'll be in downtown Nashville at the Omni Hotel Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of next week, which is the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Early this year, early in October. Normally we do it in November, but we're kind of at the beck and call of the hotel. But it is the best 3 days in trucking. We have a good time, and we have so much. We have probably 15 breakout sessions, tremendous speakers, great entertainment, great food, and you need to come and join us.
By the way, David, I can't tell you how good it is to hear your voice. I wasn't kidding when I said it, Lindsay. It's one of the best voices in trucking, one of the most distinct, and it's a voice. And it's more, and it's one of the largest voices in trucking too. The head honcho over at NASTC, David Owen, has joined us. Dave Nemo has joined us. Lindsay Lawler, as always, the great connector, as I talked about at the beginning of the show. Congratulations!
You're welcome, America. You're welcome.
And congratulations to you, David, on all your continued success and the best 3 days in trucking. Thank you, my friend. It's good to have talked to you. Thank you, Dave Nemo. Thank you both.